Hello and welcome to Daily Politics, reaching you from Trust TV here in Abuja. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Suleiman. The permutations and horse tradings leading to the National Convention of the APC, scheduled for February 26, has reached the rooftop. News earlier today says that the convention has now been postponed indefinitely. The timeline of activities heralding the convention, like the sales of nomination forms, inauguration of standing committees for the convention, and ratification of state congresses, all have not happened. And for this, it will have been extremely difficult for the convention to hold a scheduled Saturday this week. However, earlier today, in a letter to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the APC said it plans to hold its zonal congress on Saturday, 26 March 2022. But later on, it clarified further that not just zonal congresses, but also the convention. All of this means that there is so much uncertainty in the party. And if there is uncertainty in the ruling party, there will be uncertainty in the country and in the polity as a whole. Meanwhile, opposition PDP has since held its convention since October last year. So tonight, we're asking, what's going on with Nigeria's ruling party? Is the APC National Convention jinxed? Will there be a convention at all? And what are the implications of all of these delays? Who is after the soul of this party? And is the APC heading for the door? I have with me to discuss all of these issues and to go through all of these questions, Mr. Dominic Alancha, who is Director General Al-Makura Campaign Organization. And also with me is Mr. Lovatite Makiu, Jr., who is Senior Special Assistant to the Minister of, to the Senator Judge Akume.
Minister of Special Duties.
Who is Minister of Special Duties. Welcome to Daily Politics, gentlemen.
Thank you. Many thanks.
Yeah, thank you. But before we jump into the discussion, let's take 1 minute and 1 minute of a break, and then maybe I will also drink water and get my voice back. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV, and we're looking at all the issues surrounding the botched or the bungled APC convention. And with me are two gentlemen who are in the heart of the party. Welcome once again. So, Mr. Dominic, like I said, I usually start with my right, so I'll be starting with you. So the first question is, what's going on? Why do you keep, shifting the goalposts? Why every time you're gonna do this? The PDP did their convention as far back as October. That's 2-3 months, 4 months ago. Does that mean you're incapable of organizing a convention, the APC?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your program. I wouldn't say that the APC is incapable of organizing its national convention. No, they are not incapable.
Okay.
But you see, a party that is so diverse, with a lot of diverse interests, like APC, it is expected that such kind of internal wranglings will be there. the party membership strength is over 40 million people, 41, 42 million membership. So there are so much
You
interest.
say 41 million membership.
41 million.
So APC members are more than the total number of Nigerians who voted in the last election.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I see.
Yeah, because if you remember, during when the caretaker came on board, there was a membership revalidation exercise that was carried out around February 2021. And I think that gave us that membership strength of over 40 million people, you know, as members of the party. So what I'm saying is that there are a lot of diverse interests within the party. And in organizing a convention, you need to find a way to situate every interest within, you know, the party so that to have a hinge-free national convention. But you see, the issue with this interest is what is bothering some of us. And this interest is among some of the critical stakeholders, and I don't think it's quite healthy for this party. With
like who? Like which?
Yeah, like the governors, you know, the governors and some critical stakeholders. The 2023 interest particularly is what is, you know, in my own opinion, causing some of this delay to this national convention. You know, so I think these are some of the reasons. But the reasons some of this caretaker had advanced in getting a shift from January, I mean from December to January
to February, and February
was
to another month.
The internal crisis within the party as a result of the state congress, local government congresses, state congresses that took place last year around July or thereabout. You know, so there were a lot of factions here and there. They're trying to see how they could resolve this thing, you know. But the truth of the matter is that there is no party that is, you know, that is without crisis. These crises are inevitable. They are there, and they will continue to be there. Ours is to see how we can be able to manage it and then move ahead, because you can't satisfy everybody.
Thank you. You cannot satisfy everybody. That's why you need a level playing field for everybody, so that if you have a level playing field for everyone, regardless of their interest, regardless of their differences in ideological positions or political leanings, they can test their strength on the same field, like everyone else. Is that what is lacking in the APC right now? That's why you keep pushing the goalpost?
Many thanks for being here. I disagree with you totally when you say it's lacking.
Disagreement is good. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not lacking.
Okay.
The APC as a party, not just by name, Action Congress. I mean, I said Action All People's Congress. Now, democracy is a game of number. Democracy is also a game of interest. Political parties, as Nigeria, democracy is practiced. It's about the people. It's for the people. So when you aggregate the people's interest, the majority will naturally carry the day. So I believe strongly that the APC...
But if the room to aggregate the interest, if the space to even aggregate those interests is not opened in the first instance, are you not stifling those interests?
No, I also beg to disagree with you totally when you say the space is not open. It's open. Like my fellow speaker said, she stated clearly that in the last registration exercise, APC had utmost number of membership. And for that reason, you should expect generally that everybody will want to find accommodation. And except there's more time allowed for such accommodation, you may not have an aggregate position to push forward. Be that as it may, I must say the APC is trying to get it right. Look, if you look at how the APC came on board, vis-a-vis winning elections in 2015, you will agree with me that here was a party that had people come together for common interests of progressiveness. And then they captured power at the center. Naturally, where there's power, there's bound to be what? Diverse interests. And it is only when you have a leadership that is able, willing, and capable to aggregate these interests. Otherwise, you may spill the beans. And it is therefore pertinent to note that the APC as a party, one of the biggest parties in Africa, if not the biggest, must get it right. Like you rightly said, you say getting it wrong automatically means the government would have what? Lost its footing.
Yes.
Therefore, I think absolutely the APC has not gone wrong. Of course, zonal congresses will be held so that zonal leaders are imaged. Right, there were also disagreements and pockets of states here and there in the course of which you expect. Because, I mean, for all you care, one man's food is the other man's poison. And until we find this comfort zone, we may not. It is not far-fetched from the fact that you may not take everybody along. But truly speaking, you must have everybody in majority. And then the majority will have their say, and then the minority will have their, the majority will have their way, and the minority will have their say.
Thank you. Yeah, that's majority will have their say. Minority will have their say, majority will have their way. Yeah. But Mr. Alancha, some people would say that part of the reason you are having this situation in the party, in general, even before we come to individual campaigns, in general, part of the reason is not just one man's food and another man's poison, but because one man wants to carry all the food. That a small group of people within the party leadership, particularly within the caretaker committee, have confiscated the structures of the party and are toying with the interests of other people. Do you agree with that position?
Well, yes, I won't agree with it totally because this
But you
party,
won't disagree either?
Yeah, I won't disagree either.
Okay.
Because this party...
In other words, you agree?
This party does not belong to this selected few you are talking about.
Okay.
This party belongs to over 40 million people, members of the party. And everybody have a say within this party. And I think that is democracy. And I think that is fairness, that is justice, that is equity, when you allow people to have their say. So to say that these very few people are, trying to commandeer everything to themselves, I don't think is going to work. Yes, there may be that intention to do that, but members of this party will resist it.
But why would they want to do that? What would they want to achieve?
Well, like I told you earlier that part of the reasons why, this convention is being postponed, in my own opinion, is the 2023 agenda and interest of this selected few, which is dividing, further deepening the crisis within this party. I think at this time, the minders, the handlers of this party need to begin to situate the interests of the party above their own personal interests. If today they can come out clean and organize, and put the party before them, without minding their interests, I believe that this convention can be held by Saturday.
This very coming Saturday? This
very Saturday.
Okay.
Yes. So, because it's what do we need to do a convention? Number one, we need to come out clean on the issue of zoning. Number two, we need to put up subcommittees that will organize this thing. And these are not things, these are things that you were properly constituted to do. In the first place. In the first place. June 25th, 2020 was the day the CECPC was inaugurated to do what? To plan a convention. And up to date, we have not been able to even have a subcommittee that will work under the main convention committee, which is the caretaker committee. So I think there is something wrong, and that is why people are now saying that they want to commandeer everything to themselves, by holding forth to the structures. Holding forth to the structures, but that is their personal interest driving them. They should begin to see their commitment to the party, and the interests of the party should be placed above their personal
interests. So I have to cut you. Thank you. So as he was speaking, I noticed that you seem to disagree with what he's saying. That's
absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
As a party man, and a member of the APC from its formative stage, I think I disagree with him absolutely. If for whatever reasons he terms the interim committee, it's trying to corner everything to itself. I believe strongly.
So what's the interim committee trying to do?
There's a leadership of the party.
Okay.
The party has leadership, and the party is also in government at the center. The party controls, the president is the leader of the party, and the president, like you and I know, and everyone in Nigeria knows, of course, it's a no-nonsense personality.
Yes.
He's not someone you could dabble with. So I think strongly that as an internal affair, we shouldn't come public to begin to castigate our own, else we make ourselves vulnerable.
But the president has made it clear that he intends to stand above this kind of politicking about who succeeds him and who doesn't. He's made that clear.
No, I've never talked about succession, presidential succession.
No. What I mean is he will not be too involved. This convention is convention for the 2023 election.
Look,
it's not a convention for normal convention. It's not like convention that you had in 2019. It's convention for the next election. So there's no way we can rule the next election.
It's not just convention for the next election. Okay. It's convention to elect and install leadership for the party.
In order to fight the next election.
Wait. Take that. Okay. Take this from me, please. It's a convention to elect leadership of the party. After which 2023 is a way back ahead of us, okay? Now, as I speak to you, except you install leadership of the party, you cannot even conduct successful primaries. It is established. I don't want to sound militant because, like I said, I'm a party man, absolutely, no two ways about it. Therefore, it is not even advisable for me to say, whatever it is they have advanced, look, we will follow it due diligently. The president is someone who believes in due process. And I want to believe, like I said earlier, that he would not allow anything inimical to happen to the party. Succession is another story. All right? Leadership of the party installation is another story.
Mr. Elencha, what we were saying, I agree that succession is one thing and leadership of party is another.
Yes.
But in an election year, a convention is an election year will have the object or the objective of fighting that election. I don't see how that should even be up for debate. The question I'm trying to raise, Mr. Dominic, is whether or not, because you are talking about the party leadership and he's talking about the presidency. Of course, the presidency is part of the party leadership at the very highest level. But does it also follow that the president is also one of those who are trying to confiscate things on their own?
You see, if you understand the mindset of the president, you will understand that the president is a true Democrat.
Okay.
And I give that to him. All right? The president is not one that likes to interfere except it is necessary for him to do that. He has reposed confidence on the caretaker committee. And what is happening with the caretaker committee now, I consider it as rebelling against the president.
Interesting. How so?
Oh, yes. How so is because on 2 different occasions, they have sought for an extension of their tenure. Remember, when this committee was set up, was inaugurated, or was constituted, it was given a timeline of 6 months.
Yes.
After that 6 months, what happened? They went for an extension of time. He approved an extension. After 1 year, they went again for an extension. He still approved it. Now, they came back to him. We were supposed to have had our national convention to elect this leadership of the party that will prosecute the election for 2023, like you rightly said. Again, it was postponed. They came to him with a date that is sacrosanct in my thinking. And according to...
You mean the Friday, the Saturday,
the February
26th
was a date sacrosanct. All we can hear now is that there is a postponement, which I'm not yet sure, because I'm aware that the president will be meeting with some governors tomorrow to decide on whether or not there should be a postponement of this national
Are you
convention.
saying the president is not aware of this postponement?
Well, I have not seen any official communication from the presidency to this regard. What we are seeing are news making rounds that the convention has been postponed. We await the outcome of tomorrow's meeting with the president and the governors, all right, on this issue, because this is where the issues will be debated. This is where the issues will be clarified. So until after tomorrow, we are not sure of what is happening. While you were in hold on,
okay.
just a minute.
Okay.
In your introductory listing, yes, you stated that the party earlier stated in a statement that they are going to do zonal congresses on the 26th of March.
Yes.
Later, they reversed itself again,
yes.
that the convention will also happen on the 26th of March.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So these are two conflicting information out there making the rounds. So I think we should wait until after tomorrow, where we get official communication from both the presidency and the party as regard to whether the convention is postponed.
In other words, you are still expecting that the February 26th convention will take place. Okay, go ahead.
What it simply means that, you see,
But I have substantive questions for you, not just you reacting to what
exactly.
he says.
My brother had hitherto to jump the gun.
Yes.
You understand? He has retracted his steps and say that the party has not made a clear position as to whether the convention will be held or otherwise. Hitherto, he said it was the caretaker committee that was trying to rather outstay its welcome. So I'm happy that he has also gotten back to his tracks as a true party man, to say it as it were. So please, let me listen to you.
So, thank you. So one of the sticky issues within the party is the crisis, in many states, in virtually all the states, particularly in Kano, in places like what do you call
Anambra,
Imo,
in Benue,
you understand? In Benue, Benue, not much.
There is a court injunction.
Some states have more crisis than others. So
there is crisis.
As it happens, the two of you are from Benue, maybe from different parts of the APC in Benue. So to you might understand the problems that you have there. But at the national level...
No, but we need to let Nigerians know.
Okay.
And I make bold to say there's no crisis in Benue.
And I make bold also to say that there is...
Okay, can we go beyond Benue?
No, listen. We won't go beyond Benue because charity, they say, begins at home.
1 minute, yes.
I want to tell you proudly that Benue today parades the youngest chairman.
Not in doubt. Not in doubt.
Beautiful. But if you say not in doubt, so what's the crisis in Benue? So Benue has no crisis.
There is crisis.
So to what extent?
We have someone else that is claiming the chairmanship of the party in the state. And he went to court. Of course, he went to court.
Okay, this is what we do. This is what we do. I can assure you.
He went to court.
We will find a day.
And got an injunction for that.
Yes, this is APC National Convention.
Yes.
But we will find a day to look into the politics of APC and even the PDP in Benue State specifically.
Yeah.
After
not
all,
PDP, sorry.
No.
Correction, APC.
APC, PDP all together.
No, they can't be together.
State.
I am not here as a PDP member.
Because this is a politics program, so everyone will have their say when the time comes. For now, we're talking about the APC National Convention. So one of these issues is, these disagreements in many different parties. And you have a reconciliation committee that is trying to mend these fences together. Is it that the work of the committee has not done, or has it been done, or what? Especially now that we see the posters of the head of that reconciliation committee also going for the same APC commission, chairmanship as your boss.
Well, thank you very much once again. You see, like I've always emphasized, democracy, it's expression of freedom.
Yes.
Freedom of interest, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of aspiration, and all of that. It's endless.
Yes.
It's all about freedom. So if you wake up today, there's a reconciliation committee going around. It's a work in progress. All right? And it is not binding on me to agree with what you say today. I may need to sleep over it. That's why most times when you talk to people, you ask them, go sleep over it and take a deep thought. So you come out with results. So you don't expect that.
So that's what's delaying the convention?
No, don't quote me. Don't quote me. I'm just telling you what's obtainable in human nature. And you agree with me. All right? Like we're seated here, we're all wearing different caps, different sizes and different colors.
That's interesting.
But we're all wearing caps.
Absolutely.
So in a democracy, you expect people, as you talk to them, they will go, they'll also consult democracy is all about consultation. It's not just about the individual who's seated there representing the others. He needs to talk to them one after the other, and it takes some people longer time to arrive at a particular decision. So I want us to understand this point blank. There's no pretending about it. So you don't expect that it's a machine. Even your machine, your car that you drive, if we engage the reverse gear while it's still in motion, it won't work. You get me, clear? So in a democracy, and APC as a party that believes in democracy, we're progressives. What we need to do is to aggregate diverse interests, which is the case, and then build them together to do what? What is basically the interest is to capture power and use that power for the benefit of the people.
Interesting. So
let me just add something quickly.
Please.
There was nothing like a reconciliation committee.
Okay.
Because
Senator Abdullah Adamu-led
committee was not engaged in reconciling members of the party or members, various factions across the state. Rather, we have it on credible information that he was going about campaigning. And that is why when he was asked to present a report of a 3-month assignment given to him, he was demanding for 1 week. It's disappointing. He has failed as a committee chairman. We cannot entrust the party to such kind of person to come and lead. He has failed. As just a committee chairman, he couldn't deliver on the assignment given to him. Is it on the national chairmanship of this party that he will come and deliver?
Interesting.
No, so it's disappointing, really.
Interesting. So, but another issue is this zoning issue, which is quite sticky. Please chip in.
Yes. To what he said.
Sure.
Not be reactionary.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
No, I should.
Please, I moderate the discussion.
You know, you draw his attention to that.
I moderate the discussion.
It's not for him to be reacting to what you state your own opinion.
This is my opinion. But this is opinion. This is my opinion.
Everyone has a right to reply as well. Please.
This is my opinion.
I moderate.
My friend and brother here said there was no reconciliation committee, but he also got back to say he lacks the capacity to be national chairman. I am not questioning that.
Yes, I said there was nothing like a reconciliation committee because
let him land.
Let me die before you bury me. No way. On credible information, he was going for support for him to be the national chairman.
You're choking me.
Let him land.
I'm not finished.
Go ahead.
I'm not finished. You see, my brother here said there was nothing like a reconciliation committee chaired by Abdullah Adamu. I know there's a reconciliation committee to which my principal is also a member, Senator George Akume is also a member. And they were
He's a member of the reconciliation committee.
Yes. It was a broad-based committee. And if for any reason someone chairing the committee decides to take a back door to ask for whatever, is a different ballgame. But for us as party men to say we do not recognize a committee that was set up by the caretaker committee to which we are all following and now discussing issues that have to do with the convention vis-a-vis 2023 elections, then it...
But what if you have a committee to do A and the committee is doing B?
Well, the onus is on the existing authority.
Okay.
That set up the committee. Like I told you, democracy allows for everything. But the onus still remains on, yes, you are asked to do X, Y, Z, and if you decide to do A, B, C, are you getting me clear? I mean, reports got to go somewhere. And the committee responsible or the headship responsible for taking these reports know what to do. There's no pretending about it, all right? Like I've always said, and emphatically true, as a party man, this is a public space. I believe strongly so that these are issues that can be settled from within and not washing our dirty linens in the public.
Thank you very much.
If there are any dirty linens anyway.
Okay. Thank you. No. I think I have to cut you short because we are going on a break. When we return, and then we will go to other issues like zoning and also to raise the question of whether or not you are going to have a convention at all, because you are supposed to have a convention on Saturday, and yet all the structures of having a convention were not in place by Monday. So that question begs itself, but that will be when we return after following a short break. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us. We'll just be taking 1 minute break. When we return, we'll go straight into whether or not the APC want to have their national convention. We'll be right back. Stay. Welcome back. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV. If you're just joining us, you can follow us on all our social media handles on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Before we went on that short break, we were discussing the APC National Convention, to be or not to be. So we go straight back into it. Before we went on break, we raised the issue of zoning, which is one of the sticky issues in this convention, because initially, there was no talk of zoning, and then we heard that the ticket has been zoned to the North Central, and you can see that lots and lots of the contestants currently are in fact from the North Central.
What ticket? What ticket?
The APC chairmanship.
Okay.
The main one. And so on. So to what extent is zoning driving issues within this convention? Is it that APC cannot make up its mind where the chairmanship of the party can come from, or whether he needs to come from anywhere at all?
For me, I think the issue of zoning is a given within the party, though it's not constitutional. But in sharing positions, there must be a spread to each of the geopolitical zones that make up the country. But as to being specific in the Constitution, zoning is not part of it, all right? But there must be spread. And ideally, where the president comes, the national chairman doesn't come from there. And federal character, of course, suggests that if president is from the north, the vice president comes from the south, or vis-a-vis. So,
but your party doesn't have the federal character within its constitution.
Yeah, but naturally, it's a law of natural justice.
Okay,
it's a law of natural justice. All right. So, but for me, I think the party need to come out clean on this thing, and part of the reason why this convention is not holding is the issue of zoning, quote and unquote, because from the insinuation, the news making rounds is that the national chairman is zoned to North Central. For me, it's a given. North Central is eminently qualified. North Central has paid our dues.
Are you saying this because
no, I'm not saying
your
this.
principal,
I'm not saying this because my
Senator
principal,
Tanko Al-Makura comes from North Central?
I'm not saying this because my principal comes from the North Central.
Okay.
I'm saying this because the North Central deserve to be the national chairman of the party.
Okay.
But the
on what grounds?
The party, because since 2015, 2019 election, we flip APC in all the states, except for Benue. After 2015, he stole our mandate to PDP and will reclaim it in 2023.
Yeah,
by the special grace of God.
Sure.
All right. So
it's good to see that you agree once.
We've been flipping
that's good.
APC all through. So we deserve to pilot the affairs of the party, going into the 2023. Now, having said that,
yes,
the party need to come out clean on other positions within the within the party.
Like the national
other
secretary.
zones need to know what comes to them, because you cannot have.
But
a
there's no
national
agreement
convention.
within the party whether it has even zoned the APC chairmanship
That's
to anywhere.
what I'm saying. We will come out on all this clean after tomorrow.
Okay.
The president will be meeting with them, and I believe one of the issues on the table to be discussed with Mr. President tomorrow, or to get more clarification and approval from him tomorrow, is the issue of zoning. So they should come out clean, and unless and until the issue of zoning is really, spreading of offices to other zones is really put on the table, I don't see us having a hinge-free convention. But when that happens, believe me, we're going, because take for example, the national youth leader already is in the north. National youth leader, as she stands currently, the position is in the north, and ideally position swaps. Now, people from the north are also coming out to say that they are running for the office of the national youth leader. If you begin to sell forms to them without clarifying where the position is zoned to, what are you doing? You are going to create more crisis within the party.
I don't want to guess too much.
The moment someone picks a form, he has the right to go into the election.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, but just one moment. In addition to zoning, you can. I will ask you the substantive question. You can respond to him and then answer the substantive question. In addition to zoning, there's also the feeling that they don't even want to have a convention. Because here we are. You're having a convention on Saturday. That's just 5 days away. And even the sales of nomination forms, the constitution of committees, the actual people who are going to conduct the convention, who are going to officiate in the convention, to help at least the extraordinary committee in officiating the convention. None of these issues have been settled. Isn't that an indication that there was never really any intention to hold the convention in the first place?
Like I said, thank you very much once again. Like I said earlier, conventions must be held. It's a constitutional matter. That's number one. So to say that, are they going to have a convention? No, it's not tenable. There must be conventions.
Okay.
It's a constitutional matter for party democracy. It is also constitutional and mandatory. Are they run off or foul of the timelines? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they run foul of the timeline, that's when you say, oh no, the time has elapsed, therefore there cannot be convention. And I also want to agree with my brother who has now made it clearly known to the whole world that the president is someone who cannot be stampeded to doing what is outside of the law. And that there's a meeting between the critical stakeholders and Mr. President sometime tomorrow. And of course, there was also a meeting by critical stakeholders, that's the governors, the APC governors, sometime last week. And in that meeting, the feelers were clear that the position of the national chairmanship would come to North Central. And like you answered it even before the question, you said predominantly the aspirants are from North Central. They are not daft. There are people who have also paid their dues in this game of politics, so they rather wouldn't come out if it were not meant for that zone.
So we can still expect that the chairmanship will be within the North Central? Absolutely,
no doubt. Okay. Like a typical saying goes, a good weekend from Wednesday. All right? So it is not as if the aspirants from the North Central are just beating drums and whatever. They sure know, because they are also very critical stakeholders in the party. No doubt about it. Make no mistake about it. My brother knows. There are no pushovers in any case.
Thank you.
So I believe strongly that by tomorrow's meeting, like he now rightly said, the president would stamp his authority as has been usual. We would have a definite position. But to say the convention wouldn't hold, it's not true, it's not tenable, it has not gone out of timelines yet.
Thank you. So not going out of timeline is one thing, but doing damage by delaying and postponing is another thing. Do you think this is giving the PDP an edge or some, strength over the APC?
No, I don't see this as giving PDP an edge, because PDP to me is already a dead party.
Okay.
There is nothing, you cannot whip a dead horse. There's no way you can inject life into it. So for me, the PDP is dead. Nigerians have rejected it in 2019, in 2015 and 2019.
But they have done their own convention.
Yes.
And they elected their chairman. And the chairman...
Doing a convention is not winning
Senator
election.
Yecho Ayu is not a pushover. Yes. He has quite...
I agree with you that they have done their convention, but doing a convention is not winning election. At this moment, we are in the party is to win election. When we get to the campaign, Nigerians will know very clearly what this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has done for them and what the party will do for them beyond 2023. So it's not about, winning election as per whether PDP has done their convention. The question is, will Nigerians accept PDP as a political party to govern Nigeria again after governing her for 16 years? No, they will not do that. The APC have, led administration have provided, a new lease of life for Nigerians, and Nigerians have shown it clearly in the two elections, that passed.
Interesting, Mr. Loverty. But what he's saying this about the PDP. But the PDP, they said that, well, that's the very fact that you cannot even organize a convention is proof that you don't even deserve to stay in power beyond 2019, because it means that you don't have the capacity to lead. What do you say to that?
How old is the PDP, if I may ask you?
They've been here
since inception of today's democracy, 1999.
Yes.
We were all members of the PDP, founding members for that matter. And I also was privileged to have worked closely with another statesman of blessed memory, Samuel Ogbemodia, who was also chairman, convention and congresses committees for the PDP repeatedly. And you see, the APC came in and took power under how many months of formation? That's because Nigerians agreed with it. Nigerians needed a change, and the change has come. All right? The Muhammadu Buhari-led administration of the APC has brought change advantageously to all Nigerians in terms of infrastructural development. A host of the PDP guns would not agree with that because it is not business as usual. All right? And I believe strongly, like my friend and brother said, Nigerians are seeing it. And they would not generally turn around or whatever. They're coming back to the convention. Like I said earlier, and I say once again, the APC is a baby under construction. The PDP has been there over the years, since inception. I mean, until there were disagreements, most of the forces in the APC were those who formed the PDP. Until there was an aggregated position and they discovered absolutely that these were non-progressives and we were progressives, they moved over and built a house that captured the nation. And I want to believe strongly that Nigerians in general, either party members or non-party members who have felt the administrative prowess of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration would certainly vote for the APC. And I also want to assure you absolutely that the APC is going to hold a rancor-free convention.
Interesting.
That will be admirable by all and sundry.
Thank you. So that takes us back to the electoral law, which has a relationship even with the convention, one way or another. For example, a provision of the electoral, the clause 84, which says that certain political office holders, particularly appointed ones, who want to contest for elective offices, have to vacate their offices a given number of months, I think 3 months or 6 months before the election day, and so on. So earlier in the news today, it was said that that's part of the sticky issues. That is probably also that the presidency and the National Assembly and the party headquarters are trying to iron out. To what extent is that hampering the convention?
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with the convention because in my own opinion, I think it's not even new to the Electoral Act.
Okay.
All right? Anybody that aspires for an elective position, if he's a civil servant, if he is an appointee, it is expected of him to resign his appointment. But as to whether 6 months or 3 months is what I cannot really clarify now. But it has been in the Electoral Act long before now. So maybe what they have done to it is to reform it to say it should be 6 months, it should be 1 year, it should be 3 months, as the case may be. But it has been in the Constitution, so that should not, it's not the reason why the Electoral Act, the convention has not been held.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with our convention, all right? Because this is issues that borders and concern every other political party. So why will you identify that particular with a single, with an individual party?
But the reason
it has to do, it's not if you have appointment, you know, or if you are a member,
the reason
if you are contesting on that PDP,
let me tell you the connection.
You have appointment, you are expected to resign.
Let me tell you the connection. So
it's issue that borders around all the political
Let me tell you
parties.
the connection. If you have, if you are going to have the electoral law now, says the proposed amendments, one of the provisions is that you want to have presidential candidates, the primaries conducted and candidates emerged several months before the election.
Exactly.
So that means you're going to do the primaries a few weeks or months earlier than that deadline, right? So, and that means if you have anyone in appointed position right now who wants to contest, for example, governors, ministers who might want to be governors, right? So that means they will have to leave office much earlier than used to be the case when people wait until April or election December and then they now leave. So maybe that's the connection.
Well, like I said, it has nothing to do with the reason why the convention is not holding or has not been properly put together to hold. All right, it is expected. All right, that if you want to run for an office and you are holding a political appointment or you are a civil servant, you are expected to go and resign. But as to the timing before the election is what we don't know. Is what I cannot specifically
somebody
say.
appointed
But
to a
before
political position
now,
is different from
before this
public
electoral
servant.
act, it is enshrined in the
civil
electoral
servant.
act. Previous, in fact,
That was civil servants.
The electoral act we are using now is the 2010
Is the
as
2010,
amended,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
It is there.
That one is for civil servants. A civil servant is not someone appointed by president. For example, you are holding an appointed position now.
Yes.
And you too, senior special assistant to a serving minister. You might want to be member of House of Reps
Okay,
or
for
something
me,
like
for
that.
me, I think it is fair for political appointees to resign their appointment if they are contesting.
That's a substantive
No,
question.
no,
Yes.
no. The point
They should
is this.
resign.
The point is this.
Because you cannot be a judge in your own matter.
No,
Thank you.
The point is this, like you said, there are proposed amendments. And until they are signed to law, we cannot discuss them in sub judice. Are you getting me clear? Because there are proposed amendments, otherwise there had been, like my brother rightly said, there had been, but then there has been proposal to amend it, either to the left, a little to the left, or a little to the right. And so until these proposals are so approved of and signed by the president, discussing them here will just be a mere academic exercise. So I don't want to see that as a reason for why, when you insist on convention not holding, I disagree with you.
The reason is that
I thought that
the reason is that of all the controversies,
I think discussing them is not a bad idea.
Yes, it's beyond
because,
that, because
like the media, they shape the perception and the
in
opinion
any
of
case,
people. So
in
what
any
we are
case,
doing here is to shape the perception and the opinion of people with regard
I know, but like
That's
I agree
all right.
with you absolutely. Yes. Yeah, this had hitherto been in the Electoral Act. Now it is in the making. All right, there's a proposed amendment to this effect by elected officials who are representatives in all rights. All right, now, and it's subject to the president's approval or veto. Isn't it? So if we sit down now and say it is responsible for our convention not holding, it will not make meaning. Okay? Because one, like I was begging to tell you, this idea of convention not holding does not, because we have nailed it down. We said there's a meeting with Mr. President, who's also the leader of the party, coming up tomorrow with critical stakeholders. Therefore, when the critical stakeholders meeting comes out, they will give us a leeway
since
forward.
you're speaking last, let me ask you, is there any indication, or what would you say if by 26th March, the APC still does not hold its convention? Would you say that it has lost its credibility, or this leadership has lost the confidence of the party?
Certainly, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
And I answered this before now. I told you clearly that in a democracy, there must be disagreement to agree. And I also asked you if there were timelines that would be elapsed by 26th of February. All right? And you said no. So I told you it's a constitutional matter. It will not be like, okay, it won't hold anymore because the time has elapsed. It will still hold. It's about doing it right and getting it right once and for all.
Thank you.
That's my belief.
A view on that? Just 10 seconds.
Well, I think I will reserve my opinion on that until we get there. But I don't see the party not holding national convention beyond March 26, as they have stated, if the president so approve it. But
Thank
for
you.
now, it has not been approved.
Did you say March or you said Saturday 26th?
No, March 26th.
No.
That's 1 month
That's why I
ahead.
said no. But that was why I said there's a meeting.
Because that would have been the 4th or the 5th extension.
There's a meeting of critical stakeholders.
Yes.
With the president, who is also the leader of the party. And like we've all agreed, and Nigerians in general will agree and attest to, he is somebody who does not mince words. Therefore, I believe strongly that come that date, the APC will have a harmonious convention devoid of rancor. And by the grace of God, that will prepare the APC for 2023 victorious outing.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much for coming on the show once again, Mr. Dominic Olancha. Thank you very much, Mr. Levati Tayamaku. It's been nice speaking with you guys, and it will really be nice to have you talk about the Benue politics more in depth. Thank you also for staying with us, Nigerians and viewers. We hope that you stay with us once again when we bring you another edition of Daily Politics tomorrow. Thank you and good night. I am Suleiman Suleiman.